Hi there, my name is Kay Moon and I'm a Twin Soul Channel and Western astrologer. And this is a video about the full moon in Gemini on December 18th, 2021 at 11:35 p.m. If you happen to be on the eastern seaboard of the United States, please check a time zone converter for your local time. This is the video for the Twin Soul Collective, Divine Counterpart Collective. And I just want to start by saying thank you so much for all of the likes, all of the subscribes, and all of the shares in 2021. It's meant so much to me that I get to share this time with you. I have officially reopened the booking calendar so that if you'd like to book a reading with me, you are now free to do so over at kmoonastro.com. You'll find access to personal and relationship readings there, and the link is just below this video. We can read together as early as the third week of January, and I look forward to chatting with you if you're led to do so. This full moon takes place over here at the 27th degree of Gemini. It is sextiling Jupiter. It is squaring Neptune. And I don't love it. As if you've been with me for any length of time, you already know I'm not a major fan of Neptunian energy, especially when it comes in square, loose square, opposition, conjunction, just about any configuration Neptune can arrive in. I'm like, I don't want to hear about that. But nevertheless, here we are. Neptune is unfortunately in conversation with this full moon. And that can make a lot of communications a bit unclear. The Jupiterian energy combined with the Gemini energy can bring in just a little bit of gossip. It can also, if you've got medical stuff going on, unfortunately make test results just slightly unclear as well. So, because this is a T square, Sun occupying the opposition to Moon, T squared and Neptune, we are asked to anchor in Virgoan energy, which is all about details, discernment, decision making, dedication, and service, and honoring our own health and well-being. So the more we are able to land in that Virgo energy, the easier getting through this lunation is going to be. The less we are paying attention and playing in Virgo energy, the more tension and problematic and challenges we're going to find this full moon in Gemini brings forward. Okay, I get into more detail and depth with that inside the Lightworker Energy Update. And I also, as a final note, want to say I also talked in depth about some of the other relationship tension energy that can show up during this lunation and why it might be a better time to hold our tongue rather than trying to work things out with other people inside the Lightworker Energy Update. But rather than get into all of that here, I'm going to stay really focused on what the divine counterparts are doing, Jupiter and Juno. And if you recognize that at this time, you have things you do need to talk about with important people in your life, before you do that, I highly recommend you just take a listen to the Lightworker Energy Update, as that will help you clarify what to say, when to say it, because there is a timing to this right now. And this full moon in Gemini ain't it. I'll just leave it at that. Moving on, let's talk about Juno. Let's start with her. I always like to go ladies first. So inside of our feminine energy, we have a conversation with Juno speaking in trine to Mercury and Pholus, or sorry, in conjunction to Mercury and Pholus, mostly to Mercury. Pholus is a bit too far to be considered close. And we also have a sextile to this Nessus conjunct Pallas energy. Inside of this energy for the divine feminine, because she is also speaking in harmony to Chiron for the second time this year for an extended period, there is going to be a desire to speak up about things and to build and to correct and to want to utilize our words to exert our power in circumstances. Unfortunately, because she's under the influence of Chiron, even though it is a square, meaning it's bringing forward less harmonious energies of the two. And then Mercury is speaking with this Pholus here and to Chiron, and thus wise, Mercury, the mind and the words and the communication are mired in victimhood, pain, woundedness, thinking, and limiting beliefs attached to those things. This would also be other than the time that I would recommend Divine Feminine uses voice in connection to create what happens next. If anything, this would be a really great time for Divine Feminine to utilize her energy and her voice energy to unpack where the wounded, the root and the source of the wounded energy, get to the bottom of it in this lifetime, in past lifetimes, in family, in work situations. Get to the source of it for yourself. Find out where this pattern began in your life. Because wherever the pattern began, I can guarantee you whatever's happening now in connection with your divine counterpart, it is absolutely not about them. This is especially true because she's always going to be linked to Venus, the mundane feminine, the human feminine, and Venus is preparing to retrograde, one day after this full moon in Gemini, or maybe less than that, within 12 to 15 hours of this full moon in Gemini. And the Venus retrograde, with Venus talking to Pluto, is ushering up from the depths, from all of our feminine energy, this in touchness with our shadow. And inside the shadow, we can find the things we are ashamed of, the things we'd rather no one knew about us. We can find the things that we are afraid of. We can find all the remnants of the past that haven't been laid to rest. And Pluto and Venus are going to dance together 3 times. They've already spoken once. They'll speak another time in the week or 10 days to come. They'll speak a final time as Venus goes direct. Because of the heavy Plutonian influence, which governs the underworld and the resurrection cycle, which always starts with a death, it forces us to confront things that are over, things that are behind us. Because of this, it's super imperative that we take the time during this lunation and the lunations to come during the Venus retrograde to, rather than work things out with other people, work them out with ourselves first. Rather than try to course correct a dance with another person, course correct it within ourselves first. Deal with the man in the mirror, or the woman in the mirror, or the being in the mirror, or the star seed in the mirror, wherever you feel like you come from. Deal with that person first. In so doing, we get the benefit of this Chiron and Pholus speaking to our feminine energy, because the benefit is that because we can really utilize this time period to get conscious. Gemini is conscious communication. It's the communication we have in the world that's in our mind, not necessarily our subconscious, but our conscious mind. Because we can get conscious of what the wounding is, it can no longer marionette string us or puppeteer us into some way of being that we don't even realize we're being with other people. So if you can utilize what hurts or what is, kind of hanging out as like a phantom in the background during this lunation, instead of involving other people in the pain to try and figure it out, whether it's an ex, a new person, your connection, whomever, your parents, utilize this time to get right with you first. And upon doing that, you're going to find that in a few weeks' time, as Venus has backed off of Pluto, Mercury is moved through Pisces a little bit, or sorry, Capricorn and into Aquarius, in a few weeks' time, several weeks' time, we're going to find that we can have far more productive conversations, especially because Juno won't be speaking to Chiron anymore. Instead of speaking from our pain, we'll be able to speak from our power. And there's a difference, right? And that difference matters when we want our connections to flourish. It's one thing to speak our truth to other people. It's another thing to authentically connect. And authentic connection doesn't require us to hide our truth, but speaking our truth to other people and laying the truth on them and weaponizing the truth and weaponizing our pain only creates more division, more separation, more disharmony with other people. And so this is a really good time when this stuff is surfacing, because I guarantee you during this full moon in Gemini and the last new moon in, I think it was Sagittarius, whatever the last lunation was, and the next new moon, which will be in Capricorn, there will be some stuff in the shadow that is up. And it will be easy because of the planetary configurations to weaponize our pain, weaponize our truth. But that's not the way to move forward if what we really want is true connection. And that's coming from the feminine side, is that kind of feeling the need to armor up. That's Pallas and this obsessive thinking about the ways we've been wrong. That's Nessus and the OCD energy. And Chiron is going, yeah, you've been wounded. Yeah, you've been wounded. Yeah, you've been wounded. And Mercury is out here like, speak on that, girl. Speak on that. Not the right time. I'm telling you, just hold, unpack it with a therapist, a counselor, a friend, maybe another magical friend, maybe not a muggle friend, but get it off your chest, get it up and out through the fifth chakra. Let the fifth chakra activation of the full moon in Gemini, which is all about talk and communication as well, get it up and out, but don't put it on someone else. Just get it off of you so that you can start to unpack it, take it apart, deal with it for what it is. And only from there we can come from power down the road. Let's talk about what's going on with the divine masculine energy here. So this is Jupiter. Now, if you know that this is already resonating with you and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and subscribe. If you know you need these kind of reminders with the astrological weather, of how to work with the energy so that the energy is not working you, go ahead and subscribe. Welcome to the tribe. It's great to have you here. And if you know this is also resonating because this Venus retrograde has already hit hard for a lot of people with the last two eclipses. If there's been like a sudden onset of change, which it's very likely there has been, as Uranus out here speaking to the divine feminine while she is in pain with Chiron here in the square, might be giving you the urge to kind of, I don't know, key a car, lipstick a door, give somebody a solid piece of your mind before you close 2021. If you're already feeling like that urge is upon you, before you go ahead and do that, my strong recommendation is you book a reading with me over at kmoonastro.com. We'll talk it through. We'll look at what's going on astrologically for both you and an important person in your life. If you book a relationship, AKA twin flame reading, doesn't have to be your twin. We could look at you and your dad, or you and your mom, or you and your sister. Just put their birth details in under the relationship side, the other person's side, and we'll unpack what needs to be looked at in session before you have a conversation with them. This Venus retrograde energy is with us until the end of January when she moves direct, and then further with us until the end of February when she is fully out of shadow. So if you know this is your time, let's get after it so that you can leave the things behind in 2021 that you know you're ready to let go of in a healthy and productive way. Full moon in Gemini brings us at this point to the divine masculine side of the conversation. What is going on in our masculine energies? We have Jupiter in sextile to the sun and in trine to this full moon. These are both harmonious aspects. We've got a square to Mars And we've got a trine to the creation goddess here and a sextile to Ceres. Where is Ceres? Up here. Sextile to Ceres. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Sorry, a square to Ceres and a sextile to Eris. There's a lot of activating energy for the divine masculine, and much of it coming through, or at least two components coming through, three components coming through asteroid and TNO objects. So we've got Ceres, Eris, and creation goddess. We've got sun and moon and Mars, all speaking to Jupiter. How do we calculate this? What does it mean? What's it telling us for our masculine energy? The vibration coming through for divine masculine energy as it wraps up this 1 year transit inside of Aquarius before moving into the final sign of the zodiac wheel and starting a new cycle next year. This is giving us an energy of culmination in our masculine energies, an energy of, I don't know if you remember in school when you would get to like the last month of the school year and you knew school was about to be over. You knew it was almost done. You knew summer was upon you. The weather had already changed. Maybe it wasn't summer in your hemisphere. Maybe it was winter, but you were clear that what was happening, that's done. And now you're about to go into a season of doing something else. This is the energy for the masculine side of the the duality here, the masculine energy. There's this sense of having accomplished a lot. There's this sense of recognizing how far we've come. There's this sense of recognizing how much we still want to do and recognizing, okay, there's just a month left. How can I pull through? How can I pull forward? There's just a few, like 30 days. I can do it. I can do it. It's a bit celebratory with the moon and Jupiter in conversation with one another. There's a how is the word? How do I say this word? Culmination like energy where you can sense that there's more behind you than there is in front of you, and almost a celebratory sensation about it with Jupiter trining a full moon in Gemini. This brings forward a deep desire to talk, to share, to put information out there. And with Mars in the mix, a motivation to try and do a new thing, to have a new thing happen. And so it may be for some counterparts at this time, I've definitely seen this in my practice, that you have, if the two of you are anchored in the polaric energy of masculine and feminine, that the person who occupies more masculine energy may be stepping forward at this time to work more in the connection with the other person. The concern that I have about this is the place that the feminine energy is in that I just spoke about. It's ironic because most of the time we like to think, as those who may anchor in the feminine energy, how ready we are, how open we are. But the chart at this lunation is saying, you might want to take another, double check the lipstick before you head out on this date. Double check you don't have no lipstick on your teeth. Double check the mascara. Just make sure that you've picked all, of the wounded broccoli out of your teeth before you jump right in with the masculine energy that may be showing up. And showing up it is. I'm seeing a lot of communication energy here, openness energy here, motivated energy here, taking action, taking strides, taking steps. And this may be where the feminine energy actually needs to say, I need us to just go slow. Just take a beat. Like I'm in it. I'm here. I want this. Let's move forward. And simultaneously, there's still a few things for me that I want to heal up so that I'm not holding you responsible for the ghosts of my past and making our connection pay for my past pain. So if we can just slow it down a beat, the answer is totally yes. Connection, always yes. Let's have it. And let me make sure I deal with me so that I'm not trying to get you and your actions to check in with me every day so that I feel secure because somebody else didn't do that and they stepped out on me. Let me not make my current connection pay for my past connections' mistakes. Let me heal up my trust wounds. Let me heal up my abandonment wounds. Let me heal up my shame wounds so that I'm coming to this with a clear heart. So that's kind of the energy there between the counterparts. I see masculine like, yep, full steam ahead. Let's do this. I see feminine a little like, I have some choice words at the moment, interestingly enough. And simultaneously, both energies are in both people. And so this, because Gemini also represents duality. Gemini is two, it is twins, right? At this full moon in Gemini, you may really recognize both of these energies within yourself. Like on the one hand, full steam ahead. And on the other hand, nope. Arms crossed, pouty lip, frown on the face, nope. And so if you're recognizing this within yourself, that's okay. Part of what's meant to be happening at this full moon in Gemini and post these two eclipses, regardless of what's happened in the third dimension with your counterpart, union, separation, communication, not, moving in together, moving out together, whatever it is, what's meant to be happening is recognizing how these two energies, full steam ahead and nope, are actually opposite sides of the same coin. Let's charge forward. Let me deal with my wounds. Let's jump in together. Take a look at how I've been hurt. There's two energies here that need the soul's help for integration. And again, I talk about this inside of the Lightworker Energy Update. The space we need to occupy is this Virgo nature, this Virgo energy here. Because what the Virgo energy is going to give us is the opportunity to look at, why am I a no? And why am I actually a yes? Am I a no because of something from the past? Let me unpack this. Let me look at the details. Let me use some discernment. That's Virgo. Am I a yes because I want to erase something that I'm ashamed of? Well, let me unpack this. Let me look at it more carefully. Do I really need to be a yes in order to erase that? Or do I actually need to heal around that? It's a wonderful time to pay attention to our own health spiritually and well-being physically, and to bridge the gap between the two. Because in so doing, healing ourselves spiritually and physically, we get the opportunity to get the best of this full moon in Gemini for both our masculine and our feminine energies. It's going to be a good one, guys. Happy holidays. And I will see you in the next video. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if you know you'd like me to look at the stars for you, hit me up at kmoonastro.com. Take great care and bye for now.